If you received anything from a 10 up to a 70, you probably knew enough to get the 80, the 90, or the 100. Because if you didn't know anything, then you would have a 0. But you had something. You knew something. That means that you need to study a little bit more or actually look at some of your notes. I gave you the pattern. All you needed to do was follow the pattern that we had in our notes. Then take away the boxes. We've got y minus 4, 6, x minus 1. You don't need to do the distribution in order to do point slope. You're done. Box it in. Your test will have 40 questions, but 20 of them, or about half of them, will be multiple choice. So you'll have some things right in front of you for a lot of the problems. Same thing for this one. If you wrote that, you'll get half credits. I need to see that a negative being subtracted turns into a positive. Everyone, take a look at the difference.
Wait, do we have to do those boxes?
No.
I mean, I did the boxes, but.
As long as you're getting the correct answer, whatever method you're using is fine. Notice the difference. This one, there was no negatives up here, so we ended up with just a subtraction. When you have negatives in here, you end up with pluses because you've already got subtractions already in the formula itself. Some people were doing the correct procedure, but for the wrong form. Some people didn't do point slope. That's what I need for point slope. Some people were doing standard form for everything. You only had one problem with standard form. What are the 3 things you have to take care of for standard form? No fractions. That's the first one. No fractions. X has to be positive. X and Y on the same side, not only on the same side, but by themselves. So we don't want any numbers with them. We just want the X term and the Y term on the same side. Do it in this order. John, let's figure it out. The mistakes we're seeing, people understand that they have to multiply by 2 to get rid of this 2. But then they're doing this. They're only multiplying the y. When you multiply by 2 over here, you got to make sure you put in some parentheses. You're doing another distribution property. So everything gets multiplied by that 2. Why did we do that? We don't want any fractions, so this gets rid of that 2. Some of you are still doing the distribution. All I'm left with over here would be 1 times x minus 5, but is 1 times that going to do anything? No. I can rewrite it, 1x minus 5. Yes, sir.
I just have a question. For this test, if I got some of these wrong on here, and I get them right on the test, with this change?
Every quiz shows up on the test, and you get a second shot at changing everything. Every single time. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 3 is 6. What I'm noticing is that some people are double distributing, or double distribution. They're doing this, and then they're multiplying this by another 2. We just did it. We did it once. Parentheses are gone. I have just taken care of no fractions. What I end up with doesn't have any fractions. You now have to ask yourself, is x positive? Is that positive? So do I want to move it? No, I want to leave it there. So what do I need to move in order for x and y to be on the same side?
Y. Yeah.
I've got to move this one. I like the fact that that's positive. This goes away. 6 equals. Notice the order I put this in. Put it x, y, number. We're almost there. What should I move out of the way? 5. Plus 5. Plus 5. What do I end up with? 11 equal to 1x minus 2y. It's okay for your x and y to show up on the right. Wherever they end up is okay. It might be on the left, it might be on the right. You do whatever it takes to make sure that x is positive. If it's already positive, don't move it. If it's not positive, then move it. That was the only problem where you had to deal with fractions, x being positive and x and y on the same side. Some of you kept doing that for the rest of the quiz. You're doing more work than you have to. Because what are the last 2? Slope-intercept. This is what we use for most of this year. It's what you have to put into the calculator. So anytime you see slope-intercept, just think to yourself, what would I need in order to put it into y equals on the calculator? All I'm thinking for this one is get y alone. By the time I'm done, I want that, and I want no parentheses in there. So get rid of the parentheses first. Take care of that. What is a negative times a negative? Check your work. Did you put a negative 21 in there? That's fixable. We can take care of that before the test. Almost there. I don't have y by itself yet. That goes away. What's 21 minus 4?
17.
Plus 17. Some people are getting their positives and negatives confused. We're done. The y is alone. Could you now put this in your calculator?
Yes.
Yeah, you could put negative 7x plus 17 in your calculator. You can graph it. You can look at the table. Just because there's a fraction in the problem doesn't mean we have to get rid of it. We only did that for question 3 because it was standard form. What kind of form is this? So get y alone. But take care of your parentheses. Take care of this first. 1/2 x. Just kind of push them together. What's 1/2 of the negative 8? Negative 4. some of you are trying to multiply by 2 and getting rid of the fraction. You're making it more difficult. We don't mind the fractions for this one. It's okay. This is your job. Get the y by itself. -1. We've got 1/2 x. What is -4 minus 1? -5. Done. Don't do more work than you have to. Now we can take that, we can graph it. We know that that's got what slope? What's my slope here?
1/2.
What's my y-intercept?
5. -5.
-5. And that's what we're going to take a look at on this other quiz.
40.